Gal, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I'm doing well. I've seen the movie, so I'm doing very well. It's amazing. The action is incredible. And
Thank
most of
you.
all, it's here. I feel like we've been waiting for this movie. You've built up the anticipation so much. What's it like to finally have it here
Uh,
after all these starts and restarts?
it feels really, really good because, we shot the movie back in 2018 and the movie was supposed to come out a long time ago. So it feels like a huge relief to be able to finally share it with everyone. But at the same time, it's like it's a conundrum. It's because everything is virtual and like you don't get to feel, the red carpets and all of that. So I'm like, I'm delayed. I'm in a bit of a delay, but it's great. I'm so excited for everyone to watch it.
And what do you think about the rollout on HBO Max and some limited theaters? It becoming basically a Christmas movie, honestly, at home that people like my kids can sit and watch. And is that kind of a cool element, even if you didn't intend it to be that way?
It is. It is very much so now. If someone would have told me a year ago that that's what was going to happen, I would flip out and be like, no way. But there's something about the movie that I just feel it's so relevant. The movie, it's more relevant than we could ever anticipated, back then when we shot it. And the idea of having families being able to watch the movie together on a Christmas day is, it just warms my heart. So I'm very, very happy about it.
The last time we spoke was about 3 years ago. We were on the back end of Wonder Woman mania. It had already exploded and done everything that it did. And I asked you about potentially another movie, another Wonder Woman movie. And you say, well, there's something like a Wonder Woman Bible, and every chapter reveals something else about her. So where would you say Wonder Woman is in this chapter?
Truth. Truth. The first one was all about love, and it's still there in the movie that we just shot. But now the focus was more about truth.
Yeah, I was interested to hear you say the movie's more relevant than ever because it did feel that way. Was I reading too much into it as I listened to some of the lines and listened to the themes of it that the truth is something that we need to hear more about right now?
Yeah, and again, when Patty and I started to talk about the story for the next one, it was when we were still in the midst of shooting the first movie. But we had this urge to explore more of the character and just to, we just fantasized what we want to do with the character and with the story. And we already felt like the world and us were going to a darker place. And the power of truth is something that is super relevant for Wonder Woman as a character, but also for us as a society. And just now it's like, it's a crazy timing
It is,
to
and
have this.
the message is right there, literally in the opening scene of the movie when we have the young Diana at the competition. I think she's 12 years old or maybe younger in that scene,
Yeah,
and that theme of truth and lies comes out right away. And I know you've said that that scene to watch was emotional for you, right off the
right.
beginning of the movie. Why did it hit you so hard?
Because I've never seen it before. It was all of this, and I was involved in every aspect of the movie, and I knew what we were doing, and I was there when we shot it. So it wasn't a surprise for me, but see everything, watch everything come together, and experience this potential of this young girl and see it on the big screen. All of a sudden I got so emotional because it wasn't me, the 35-year-old girl, woman. It was me, the 12-year-old girl, watching another 12-year-old girl doing these incredible things. And then I remember telling Yaron, my husband, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this before. I can't believe we can do that. Like, it was so raw and it was a first for me. So I think it's important to have it out there in the world to lay the dream for girls and boys to see what a potential one could have. And yeah, it's special. It was a special moment for me.
Part of the real fun of the movie, too, is the setting, the 1980s, which is so rich with music and fashion and everything else. How did you and Patty arrive on 1984 when you were first conceiving of it those years ago?
For a bunch of reasons. First of all, we shot the first one in 1917. It was gray and gloomy, and it was First World War. And to be able to shot the next chapter in her life in the one of the most colorful, poppy, alive of a decade was something that we were looking forward to bring, because it was almost like another character in the movie. And also it felt like a resembled time to nowadays, because it was all about access and more, and the world was at its height. So that was something that was working very well with the story as well.
You said that this was maybe the hardest movie you've ever done.
Not maybe, for sure.
Was it for sure? For sure. I mean,
by far.
I think most
Oh,
people
man.
assume when they see a movie like this, it's green screen and they're not really doing the stunts and everything else. But you and your stunt double were doing just about everything, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of heavy lifting. When Patty wanted to have less amount of CGI in the movie, which was great and I loved, but I didn't really realize what it's going to mean for me. So it was much more laborious, but I got to say that as much as it was exhausting and all of that, it was worth it, because you see it. It's like watching a movie that was shot on film versus watching a movie that was shot digitally. There's just another atmosphere that it adds. You see it in the speed and in the weight and in our facial expressions, and it was worth it, but it was challenging.
Were there moments where
Sure.
Patty said, Gal, here's what we're doing today? And you said, really? Are you sure I'm going to do that?
Are you kidding me? We made jokes about it all because it became so absurd. Like, I wore a harness, and then I was wired from all different angles. And then I was pulled up into the air, and then they pushed me down to the water, and then they pulled me back up again, and then I had to say my lines. So Patty literally started to tease me, and she was like, okay, now do it on one foot and with one eye shut, and it was extreme.
And you weren't going to say no to your friend Patty. You just go out and do it, right?
Yeah, I'm a sucker. I'm a Patty sucker. No, but that's the nice thing, because it always starts from the head. When you have a director, a filmmaker that is so invested and is working 24/7 and is dreaming about the movie when they finally get some sleep, then you got to come and bring everything. It's not about us, it's about the movie. We had to do it.
One of the hard parts about interviewing about this film is that you just don't want to
Mhm.
give away very much. And almost any question I ask you might give away too much. But we do know that Steve Trevor is in the movie because he's in the trailer. So that we can say safely, which will lead many fans of the first
Right.
movie to wonder how
Yes.
he's in the next movie. Can you shed any light on that, or are you just going to have to see it to figure it out?
No, I can't. You're just gonna have to wait and watch the movie.
Okay, fair enough. Dramatic pause. I wasn't going to get that out of you. Okay, got it. Your girls, you were obviously pregnant. We talked about this last time too when you shot the first Wonder Woman movie. You talked about using the shield sometimes to cover your belly. And now you have two beautiful girls who are aware that their mom is Wonder Woman. Have they seen the movie? And if so, what do they think?
Alma saw the first movie. Alma, we have two girls. Maya is 3 and Alma is 9. Alma watched the first movie only. She's very much looking forward to see the next one. Maya didn't watch anything. Just yesterday, I showed her a trailer, and she was looking at the computer, and then she was looking back at me, and she said, "You could fly? Ima, you can fly?" She was like, now go and explain a 3-year-old girl that it's not for real. It's in the movies. I was hungry to a thing. So yeah, Maya is still too young to watch the movie, but she will.
And are they aware of your sort of role as Wonder Woman, that people know you and recognize you as that and look up to you as that? Or have you kind of kept them insulated from all of that?
No, it's kind of impossible to keep them, in a bubble from that. They're aware, and they appreciate it as much as one could when you're a kid. But at the end of the day, they're my daughters, and I'm their Ima. It's like, it's not about that. They're proud, and it makes them happy to say that, but nothing more than that.
Hmm. So much has changed in your life, obviously, since that first movie, because of that first movie and the success. But it was more than box office, it was representation, and you were being a role model and having that strong woman central character. How would you say your life has been changed by Wonder Woman?
It changed a lot. I think mostly by the opportunities that I get, the offers that I get for roles, and the fact that I'm a household name and all of that. The basic things, they didn't change. I think because I'm so grounded and a mother and a wife, and, and even when I work, the glory and the fame is just like, is just a side effect. I'm not focused on that at all. So I'm just like focused on my work and about making what I love to do. But it for sure changed. It's amazing. I'm still pinching myself
Hmm.
from time to time.
Have you felt your own sway in Hollywood change a little bit in terms of, you mentioned the roles you get, but pay equity and all the things that come with being a star? Do you view yourself as having changed that a little bit over the last 3 years?
I don't know if I can take the credit for someone who changed it, because it's not just me, but I can speak about the experience that I'm going through, that I think that I definitely fight for it. I think that it's all about, once you understand your value, then it's different. So I try to fight for it in my own way by fighting for what I believe I should get. Like, I believe in equality and equal pay and all of that. So I definitely fight for that.
Do you still feel like you have to fight for it? Most people would be like, come on, she's Wonder Woman. She gets what she wants.
I still feel like I have to fight for it.
So it's a battle every time.
Yeah, but it's a healthy battle. And I'm grateful that I can fight it. You know what I mean? I'm grateful that I can hold my grounds, and, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work, and that's okay too. But I think that we can't just talk the talk. We have to walk the walk as well. And that's something that I try to do.
One of the neat things about this movie too is your relationship with Kristen Wiig, on screen and off. We were just singing an earworm of a song from a music video that will be stuck with me for a week. Thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome.
Did you know Kristen before the movie? Because the chemistry on screen is palpable. It's real.
Very, very briefly. Patty and I both are big fans of hers. And we met, briefly in awards events and stuff like that. And we were both like, oh my God, Kristen's here. Let's go say hi. But we had an immediate connection when we just first met, and really started to talk about the characters and the script and life. And we all moved our families to London for 8 months or a year or whatever. You got to make the best out of it. And you can only make the best out of it when you have good partners around you. And she is an amazing partner and an amazing friend and a great, generous scene partner. So she made this whole experience super special for me.
Again, without giving away too much, people may be pleasantly surprised in the way they see Kristen. I'll leave it at that. So what made her the right person for this part for you and Patty?
All the characters that she portray are very complex. Even the funny ones from SNL skits. She's just a very intelligent and emotional performer. She has the whole range. And for Barbara, we knew we got to have someone that can go from insecure, shy, quirky to like the most sexy, vicious villain. And she totally nailed it.
Isn't it cool, Gal, to be in a position, just the way you're talking about this movie is you as a producer, your friend Patty as the director, you got to make all these decisions. I mean, that's real power in Hollywood, wouldn't you say?
It's I couldn't be more grateful. I gotta say that even in the first movie, Patty was always empowering me. I was always part of the process. I was involved in many, many things. So wearing the hat of the producer this time around was just more empowering and more educating. And it was an amazing experience. I mean, getting to work with people like Chuck Roven, who's like the mayor of all producers in Hollywood that done so many amazing movies, it's great. It
Yeah.
was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Do you, I don't want to push you too far along, we're still in this, but do you see another chapter for Diana as we look ahead? Have you and Patty
We
Beak on
always
that?
see another chapter. We always talk about it. I would love to work with, Chuck and Patty and our amazing cast again, and crew. But, now the world had changed so much. Who knows what's going to happen? I would love to have another chapter for Wonder Woman, but time will tell.
Do you feel like the movie business is changing, maybe involuntarily, because of this pandemic? In other words, you might have your movies go straight to HBO Max or straight to Netflix or whatever the outlet is. Is that sort of the new world that we're looking at?
I think the pandemic definitely accelerated where the streamers were heading anyway. But I think with movie like ours, we shot the movie on film for IMAX. Hans Zimmer composed the entire score of the movie. This movie was meant to be seen on the biggest screen possible. So I think that just like with music concerts, that, we can hear all the music on Apple and Spotify and all of that, but we're still going to go to a good concert. I think I'm a big believer in theaters, and I do think that the theaters will be back once we're over this crazy pandemic. So I do think that we'll go back to the cinemas again.
Well, Gal, I want you to know I made it all the way through this interview without singing your song with Kristen Wiig, and I'm very proud of myself.
Do you want to do it now? But it's in your head, right?
I can't get it out.
Gal and Chrissy having fun.
You started, Chrissy
We did
and
the
Gal?
clapping, by the way.
Chrissy and Gal?
Gal and Chrissy. She's the best. Thank you so much.
Gal, thank you very much. Congratulations. It's great to see you again. The movie's fantastic.
You too.
Okay,
Thank you
thanks.
so much, Willie.
Okay.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.